Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd appreciate it, and I update daily. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Buy, trade, and sell luxury watches on thewatchbox.com. Okay, we're in for a treat today. I'm in for a treat, you're in for a treat. This is a special watch and one of my all-time favorite Zeniths. It is the 2010 and 2010 only Zenith El Primero Retrotimer. This is a timepiece built in 500 to 1,000 pieces, spread over two variants, and I love it so much that I wrote an in-depth buyer's guide to the Retrotimer for a blog to watch that I've somehow managed not to send over to them for 6 months. I'll send it over to Ariel and David, but in the meantime, enjoy this video. The timepiece was part of a 2010 reboot of the entire brand following the excess of the Terry Nataf years. This was one of the Jean-Frédéric Dufour reset watches designed to add value to the brand while reconnecting with its traditional fans and offering unique complications on an El Primero base to reconnect with the manufacturer identity of the brand from the look. So the Retrotimer is a strange watch, 42 millimeters in black DLC steel in this iteration. It's a chronograph that runs full time. It has a flyback reset, but it immediately restarts. So this is a unique take on the El Primero that wears compact on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. The timepiece is a 42 across, 13.1 thick, and 50.6 lug to lug. The spacing between the lugs is 21 millimeters, so you'll have a bevy of options, but I do like this factory strap. It's well suited. It's also quite comfortable. You'll note the conforming profile means that it's all of a piece and has a sort of monoblock look to it, as there's no daylight between strap and case profile. The strap is a wonderful piece, not just aesthetically excellent, but natural vulcanized rubber, very comfortable against the skin, with clever recesses on the bottom that are actually built up out of a set of Zenith Guiding Star logos. So this little recess reduces the amount of material to make it more flexible and pliant, but also to let the wrist aerate a bit on a hot day. You'll note that the strap is relatively thick and substantial. This has every indication of being a half-decade strap, not just natural rubber, but scented with natural vanilla. It's a multifaceted sensory experience. You can see it is a new Zenith factory strap, so you'll cut it to suit. I'm not going to make that step in advance of delivery, but the double deployant clasp is a wonderful companion piece. Though this is a stripped down El Primero, it's not a stripped down or decontented watch, so you still have a very substantial clasp with twin trigger release. Nicely made. You'll also note that the case profile is of a matte finish, so it's not a glaring or glam aesthetic. It's more of a low-key black. Rather than Guns N' Roses, it's more of a Nirvana. You can see that it also nicely matches the matte of the strap. The dial is a carbon fiber-like texture. Let's get close, give ourselves better focus and a bit more light so we can enjoy the details of the dial, because there's a lot to communicate here. It's a decalc technique that reduces the material to create that carbon fiber style weave, leaving the watch with a dial that is crafted of a more stable material than carbon fiber, with the same three-dimensional look and attractive texture. There's a high contrast white on black print, and as you can see, the watch features chronograph seconds, chronograph minutes, and a sunken sub-register, and very little else, although there is a date window to nicely anchor the dial at 6 o'clock and provide a counterpoint to the Zenith logo at 12. Retrotimer, 36,000 vibrations per hour, believe it. That chronograph seconds hand is jumping 10 times per second, and along with chronograph seconds, you can see there are two small swatches of red on the dial. The hand that allows you to discern the chronograph minutes, and then at 8 minutes into the chronograph register, there is actually a red slash. That red slash or hash, the subject of much speculation with respect to its purpose and intent. The best theory at the moment appears to be that one of the designers of the watch has a particular pasta dish that he favors, and you boil it for exactly 8 minutes to keep it al dente. That al dente 8-minute slash is the only evidence we have. It's a great story. Is it true? I'm not sure, but I love the idea. You can also see that the dial, though blazoned with chronograph minutes and seconds and very little else, is not a minimalist dial, as all of the indices are polished, applied, and fully luminescent. Now you turn the watch over and you can see how it actually functions. You just reset and restart the chronograph, and that makes it one of the very few Zenith El Primero is that you can sort of hack. It's like a zero reset function. If you set the hour and minute correctly, you just reset the chronograph seconds, and now you've got seconds and minutes and hours at center. You've synced precisely to your reference time. Of course, there is a quick set date. At 6 o'clock, you have that functionality. That is not lost, even as the El Primero caliber 4055 has been substantially stripped down. Still 31 joules, automatic winding, 50-hour power reserve, beating at 10 beats per second. It features a blacked out PVD coated profile that nicely matches the watch itself, so the design continuity is strong with this one. You'll note that the quirky Zenith finishing traditions, like perlage on bridges rather than plates, and 2 screws polished for assembly and blue screws for tuning, present and correct with violet pivot jewels and golden accents of the wheels themselves. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer. You can see that the movement remains one of the most physically attractive of automatic chronograph calibers, as you can easily see the lateral clutch as well as the levers and horns of the chronograph system. One feature that has disappeared is the column wheel. As you'll note, there is a spring and lever assembly right next to the plunger that supplants the column wheel. It remains as crisp as ever, but it is the only time I've ever seen this mechanism used on any watch. 100 meters water resistant means that this remains a robustly full-featured sports watch appropriate for land and for sea. And on this strap you will find that it's ready to take the plunge anytime you are. 500 to 1,000 pieces made, I will say, of the 2 variants, one of which was the black carbon style dial you see here, and one of which was steel with a silver dial and a bracelet. This is the version people think of when they think of the Retrotimer. So if there's a definitive version of this watch, you're looking at it. See this rare timepiece and make it yours on the watch box. And I'm back with the Zenith El Primero Retrotimer. As you can see, its Vader-esque aesthetic could not be more distinct from its fully loomed nighttime aspect. See it by the light of day on the watch box.